So we lost our dad due to COVID, and that
Right.
was a life-changing experience because now I had to man up very fast. I was in this other, should I say, lower background, and all of a sudden I'm in a better place. Then I've forgotten everything. So now I'm going to high school, and the people I interact with, my friends are in Bremen, are in other bigger schools, and group of schools. And now I'm in high school. It's ghetto dominated, and I think you can tell you so much about that. And then I'm like, then how do I even get to navigate this place? So I have to come up with our own script because I'd been told about the school. I was told, hey, your buckets are going to go, your uniforms are going to go.
You're trying to fit in with these people, it's break, you wanna, somehow sort of neglecting my old hometown friends. I'm now trying to stick with this circle, you know. And so I guess maybe, and some of it sort of changes your behavior.
From humble backgrounds, life is as easy as doing exams, being number one. If you fail the most, you're number three, and just living
Now
life.
you
Exactly.
now you went to the
So
back
now you've
seat.
gone to you're in the back seat. Everybody is speaking very, very good English. There's a huge library.
And the mathematics
The
they know is
mathematics is-
something else, huh?
Hey.
I think I view life differently. There's a book I read, I think, I want to say 3 years ago, and then I still read it this year. So every year I have to read it, and it's called The Alchemist. And all along, I've been seeing this book in the streets, and people talk good thing about the same book, and they're saying, but I'm like, if people over talk about something, sometimes it's not as impactful as I can imagine. But then when the more I keep reading about the alchemist, and the idea was that there are these men who have gone through life and they can turn lead into gold. And that's like, in literal sense, it's you're thinking how that even work. But in the real sense, it's a journey that you take. So when you even talked about the caravan, that part of the caravan is in that story, and it just took me back to that part where I was like, it's quite interesting how our lives are. And it's like nowadays I call myself an alchemist because how I look at life is every decision, everything that I've done is kind of leading me to the present moment. Even the fact that we are here is a series of so many decisions
Yes, yes.
that are moving from one place to the other. Learning to leave away the ship and saying, okay, I'm no longer going to take away the ship. I'm going to do something different, and I'm here. So I think it says a lot. I don't know if I have a similar high school story because I think I look at my high school stories and they're all weird because okay, I mean, I grew up in a fairly good environment. As a young man, okay, had series of troubles before now getting to a place where I can actually call home and all that. So, for a child, the moment you've shifted from, let's say, Kilimani to Karen, within 1 month, you've actually forgotten what was in Kilimani. You're not in Karen, and everything about your life is about Karen. So I was in this other, should I say, lower background, and all of a sudden I'm in a better place. Then I've forgotten everything. So now I'm going to high school, and the people I interact with, my friends are in Bremen, are in other bigger schools, and group of schools. And now I'm in high school. It's ghetto dominated, and I think you can tell you so much about that. And then I'm like, then how do I even get to navigate this place? So I have to come up with our own script because I'd been told about the school. I was told, hey, your buckets are going to go, your uniforms are going to go, but then, and it's not that they didn't happen. They happened, but then the question.
Were you forewarned? Did you know it was going to happen?
That's why I had a story. In fact, I told them I live in some remote areas, and it's full of gangs, and you can't intimidate me. Until one thing happened. I had a Swiss watch, and then this guy took my Swiss watch, and then I'm reporting, and then I noticed that he has spoiled it. So I'm talking to the lecturer, to our teachers, and they're telling us, they're telling me, what is the price of the watch? That was the bad mistake I think I've ever done. I said, it's not even about telling the truth. My watch was bought in Swiss. So I looked at the price tag. It was 50 Swiss francs. And then I think some of my teachers didn't know about Swiss francs. They just knew everything in Europe is just euro. It's just euro. So when now they are converting, I remember one teacher was now going to convert to make sure that I'm refunded that. From that day, everybody knew that I was rich. So now I even had more troubles coming. So I mean, it's a good experience. I mean, I've never really talked about it, but when I think about it, every moment kind of leads you to here. But then the school opened me to see things differently, and to be a different person from if I would have gone to other different schools.
Would it have helped if you could share? Hi, Alvin, welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
No worries.
Yeah.
We're sharing openly, so there's no problem. Everyone's welcome. If anyone else wants to come in, welcome. Yeah. So, we're talking about early experiences and, times of our initial shocks or change in environments and whether uh, how it affected us, and also if we had been forewarned, like a traveler that is going in a caravan to Mombasa, and the guys who have been there come past you and they tell you, "Aye, things are bad ahead." So either we go left or right, or they give us some idea of how we can deal with the challenge that is before us. So I gave my first example of when my first week in high school, when I was really roughed up properly, came back, uh, and instead of sharing it with my father, I manned up and didn't say. Now I survived, but I regret that moment of intimacy that I could have had with my father by complaining, breaking down, and explaining to him. Because if I had opened that, it would have even opened him to explain a similar situation that he may have experienced and how he navigated it. So I lost that opportunity, and it never came back, and he's deceased. So I can't think. So that's one thing I regret, the issue of sharing. Thank you very much. Let's hear.
Uh, mine actually happened, let me say 4 years ago. So when COVID happened, COVID was a very huge thing that happened to everyone. 5 minutes before COVID happened, no one knew we would have such a dominated world full of confusion, full of working from home. So it disrupted so many things. Well, I grew up in a family of, we're just two, me and my sister. So we lost our dad due to COVID. And that
Right.
was a life-changing experience because now I had to man up very fast. Having to come from dad, I don't know this too, I don't know who to ask. So one thing that I really feel like really changed during that period. See, we used to normally argue with my dad on basic things like gardening, take care of the environment.
Yeah.
But one thing that really shifted my focus and shifted everything was when he wasn't there. So the place started becoming bushy. Now, I noticed, you see, when your dad is there, you can't even notice
No, you
his
don't.
efforts,
Yes.
what he's doing. So you'll be like always complaining, like, dad doesn't do anything. So he's always telling me to do this. But then now, having to see the garden dry up, the shamba is very bushy, there's weeds everywhere. That's when I get to see, wow, there is, so it made me grew up quite fast. It made me start taking responsibility. So one day I went to the shamba, took just a djembe, panga, and decided, you know what?
Let me give it a
Let me
try.
give it a try. I never used to be a fan of farming and everything, but it shifted something in me. Right now, I'm doing avocado for exports. From that small
All
gesture
this,
of
yeah.
taking that djembe, it has shifted my perspective and seeing farming as a different thing. Yeah.
No, wow,
Yeah.
wow. Well, what you're growing avocados? What else?
Yeah, I'm also doing gardening. I'm doing poultry. From just a simple activity, I've come to realize that as much as we feel like we are the ones who take care of these plants do take care of us more than we know.
Yes.
So it's only fair for us to respect our mothers. And I always see this earth as our own mothers.
As our mother, yeah.
Yeah, because we call it Mother Nature. So it's only good to take care of our mother. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the lesson I learned.
You've learned the lesson.
Yeah.
You know, I started to learn how to farm at 60 when my late mother passed on.
Uh-huh.
And she was living on our farm and she looked after it so well, and she was so worried about these characters of mine. None of them know how to farm. They're not interested, and I've tried for decades. And so now she passed on, and then bushes started coming the same way. I'm getting your story. And so we've learned now how to farm, me and my siblings, and we've kept our place the same, if not better, shape than she left it, with the mangoes, with avocados. Yes.
I can relate.
Yeah, I can relate
Yeah.
to that one. You don't realize the effort
You
that
don't.
your parents put in.
I think my first change of the environment really happened in high school. I wouldn't say I was really rough and up, you know. I think I had an easy time. I think back in high school, there's this thing where when you join as a Form 1, the fellow, like the Form 4s would ask you, do you have a sister, do you have a cousin? You know, I don't know why they used to do that. So I remember there's this Form 4, because I used to live just around, okay, not really around, but just within the same town as my high school was. So I think this guy I was used to seeing, maybe the cousin of mine, we used to hang out on the holidays. So he noticed me. I was like, oh, I've seen you around, you have a cousin. And I was like, yeah, yeah. And so it was easy for me not to. He brought me into the circle. So I think I was quite really protected. For the first year, I didn't really have a hard time. Yeah, you know, I was put in the prefect's table. So I guess I had a lazy time. But then afterwards, you know, the year passed. And so it's just me. I think now the change came in really trying to fit in with my peers. Also, I think for the longest time, okay, primary, you know, nursery, primary, high school, I still, you know, studied around the same area. In primary, I think high school was my first public institution. So in primary, you know, it's a small primary school, you know, it's private, quite well known. I'm kind of the cool guy around there, you know. So you come into high school, people from different parts, you know. The school is back in the area, so now there are people from Nairobi and everywhere. Now they're actually cool guys, you know. So I guess there's that challenge where you feel you want to fit in with them, you know. So you're really trying to maybe try to fit in, maybe kind of music they listen to, movies, the conversation. And I guess in the midst of all that, it sort of started affecting my studies. You know, I wouldn't say it was bad peer pressure really. I guess it's just the focus of you trying to fit in with these people. It's break. You wanna somehow sort of neglecting my old hometown friends. I'm now trying to stick with this circle, you know. And so I guess maybe and some of it sort of changes your behavior. Good thing I had a really caring class teacher. I think she had a lot of training of these academics with my dad. So it's during the holidays, my dad is sitting me down, he's telling me, you know, I need to be more of myself. He's like, hey, here, hang out with these cool kids, you know, from Nairobi, but I really need you to be yourself. You know, put you there, I know you're smart, I really need to focus on your studies. And I feel that was a bit of a game changer to realize, you know what, I need people to really just see me for who I am, you know. Yes, I'm from this, you know, small town really, but in my own way, there's cool things about me, you know, that you guys could learn. There are a few cool things from you guys I could learn as well, but I just need to find a way to, we all can just blend with each other, you know. I just can't keep up with this peer pressure where I'm really trying to fit in with you guys. So going back now to high school, I think that really helped me like really gain a balance where I reconnected back because I had, I think, one or two classmates from back in primary. We were in the same high school. So also realizing, you know, we've been friends for a long time, you know. There's no need to really neglect you guys. So just balancing that.
Between the two.
Yeah, so I think it really really helped me to just be neutral and really learn about being your true self.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the few challenges I think I had, how to really how to maneuver a new environment. Really.
And the importance of connections.
Yeah.
Connections
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
so important. And
Yeah.
they have value to
Yeah,
you,
exactly,
and
yeah.
without them, it like deflates. It
Purpose and
deflates you in
meaning.
a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Alvin.
Wow. So first of all, to take you back to when you joined high school, because I think high school is more of the
Yeah,
relatable- high school is the biggest, it's the biggest
it's the
first
major
shift,
train
yeah.
smash.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if just thinking about it, knowing maybe looking at how your dad was, would you think if you had spoken to him, he would have been opened, or he would have told you man up, and then
No,
let
he
you
would
go?
have opened.
He would have.
Yes, he would have. So I lost a unique opportunity.
An
He wouldn't
opportunity.
have told me to
Stay strong.
Jikasa or anything
Yeah.
like that. No. So I could have told him,
Uh-huh.
and he would have accepted me as I
Yeah.
was,
Uh-huh.
and would have given. Now he would have opened up how he managed,
To walk
because
through.
I'm sure it was no different from
Yeah,
him.
yeah, for sure.
He was a guy who was fortunate. He went to Alliance. So me, I'm sure
Rigid.
the difference coming from Mukambani there
Yeah.
to Alliance here,
Yeah, cool.
that thing must have been like
Very
going
big
to
shift.
outer space. So it must have been a train smash for him.
Yeah.
But I never got to know the story.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, so life is interesting, but then let bygones be bygones. So for me, if looking back to that first shift, mine wasn't in high school, but it was in primary school. So we grew up in a small town. If you like good nyama choma, so those sides of Ngong Kiserian has very good
Yeah.
nyama choma. So I grew up. Yes. So there's a place. I grew up in a small town called Matasia. Yes. So no, growing up
Upper or lower?
Lower
You
Matasia,
see?
right at the road. If you just land there and ask Baba Alvin or our place, somebody will just show you right behind there. So that's where we grew up. So again, it's more of a small town. Pretty much everybody. It's you're well known. It's comfortable. And then so in primary school, so I studied in one school, kindergarten, then for primary transition to another school. So class 1 up to class 5. Now in class 6, we used to move a lot from Ngong to our shags is in Githongori. So we used to transition a lot, and we used to pass by Lavington. Now every time we'd pass by Lavington, Dad, we were like, by the way, Dad, I'd like to study in this school.
Yes.
So it used to be a narrative. So this is, let's say, like from class 3. So that's the school was Strathmore School. Now towards class 5, there was an opportunity for an interview, and then we were like, okay, let's try it out. And we managed. For that particular year, now going into class 6, they got 3. We got in 3
students.
new students. Yeah, so we are 3 new guys, and now for me that was the biggest shift in my life.
Yes.
Completely, because you're home, you're more of from humble backgrounds. Life is as easy as doing exams, being number 1. If you fail the most, you're number 3, and just living
Now
life. Exactly.
Now you went to the
So
back
now you've
seat.
gone to you're in the back seat. Everybody is speaking very, very good English. There's a huge library.
And the mathematics,
The
they know
mathematics
is something else. Huh?
Hey. So that whole experience, and then now since there's also now the social difference, because
Yes.
you see in Ngong you're pretty much just a nobody. Even now you're studying with the kids of who's who. So for that, genuinely for me, that was the biggest shift. But then now what it came to teach me is now being able to adapt and still remaining who you are. Like people were like my first time knowing who Jay-Z was. There was an album he released that year. That was 2008. Blueprint. One of the Blueprint 3 or so. Okay? What is that? First of all, remember back at home we don't have a TV, so getting to watch these movies, so that dad had to buy a TV, so that you at least you get
At
to
least balance you out a little.
Yeah, so it was a whole cultural shift, but it was one of the best experiences, because I got now to learn how to adapt, learn how to create connections. Like there's some 2 or 3 friends who to date we still touch base, like they went abroad, but we still connect once in a while. So that whole, even the teachers, there are some teachers who, because Strat used to have a thing where you're mentored. So now, like the mentor from back then is still someone we touch
In
base today.
contact, yeah.
And to be honest, that 1 year changed who I was and who I am to date completely. So that's the benefit of that first shock.
that
It was
shock.
it was a huge shocker.